What? Have you not been recording? Yeah, no, you are. I see the red thing. All right, welcome back to the World Card Gamer, and today we've got a bit of a different video for you. If you are a new and or returning Magic, I was going to say Warlord player, if you're a new or returning Magic player, you might have the same question that both of us have had. When we played Magic way back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
I'm a grumpy old man. I don't like everything the way it is now compared to the way it used to be.
This is basically what was available. We had these. This is a fat pack, which is no longer something that you can say, but it used to include booster packs and a tournament pack. I think that's what's down there. Yeah, tournament pack down there.
Exclusively only buy the tournament packs.
Yeah, well, so basically a booster pack back then was 15 cards for the most part, and I think you had one rare, you had like 3 or 4 uncommons, you had 10 commons or something, and a land, mana. Yep. And the tournament pack was basically like buying 3 different booster packs. Because you'd basically get 3 rares, depending on which one, because I know that alpha and beta were different, but like the normal ones back then were 3 rares, I believe. I think you had something like 8 to 10 uncommons, maybe 20 or 30 commons, and then like 20 or 30. Yeah, and a bunch of lands. And these were originally for drafting, a drafting experience or some sort of, what's it called? Sealed? Limited tournament. Nowadays, Magic has gone all over the place. So we still have the basics. We've got the draft booster. So we're doing Innistrad Midnight Hunt because we've got the full variety here. So the draft booster is still your basic standard booster. This is 15 cards per pack. It's got 1 rare in it. It's got those 3 to 5 uncommons and then like 8 to 10 commons and 1 mana. Sometimes, exactly, and sometimes you get a foil. I think there's also a random card in there that is usually either like an ad or a token in it. And so yeah, so that's your basic
bench
booster. The second booster, and this is brand new. These are set boosters. These have only been around since Zendikar, so they've only been around since last year. Now, a standard or a draft booster box has 36 boosters, which is kind of the standard number they've been using for the last 15, 20 years, I think. I know there was a bunch of variety way back at the beginning, but basically most booster boxes in all of recent times had 36 packs in them, 15 cards per pack. These set boosters started coming out in Zendikar, and they were actually a bigger box, like a square box, which was dumb because there was just a lot of wasted space in there. And these have 30 booster packs in them, and they only have 12 cards per pack. But the advantage here, and they're a little bit more expensive, like $1 each, so $1 more each. Draft packs are usually like $4 or $5 now, I think. And these would be $1 more. These have at least 1 rare, but have the opportunity to have up to 3 or 4 rares, I think. There are opportunities to get special cards in them, and you are getting supposedly similar cards to what you're, like there's a theme, there's like a minor theme into them, and you can get more uncommons in them as well. So you can get like 5 or 6 uncommons, and there's just a scale of rarity, and they should have that here somewhere, I think.
I found them.
Yeah, see, set boosters may contain these cards. You've got like, rarities, combination of 1 to 4 rare cards. So you have 2 rare cards with 27% chance, 3 rare cards are 3% chance, and you have 4 rare cards less than 1% chance. These also include an art card, so I'd actually almost forgotten about that. They have an art card in them. Again, that started way back in Zendikar, which was only last year, right? Was it 2020? No, it would have been late 2020, I think, Zendikar now. Time flies. We're in 2022 now, so about a year and a half ago. Anyway, so 12 cards per pack. They're more expensive. You get less cards. There's less cards in the actual booster box. The box itself is usually only worth like $5 or $10 more than a draft box. But again, the whole point is that this comes with a lot more value. And most importantly, I almost forgot that. Here you have the list. Yeah, so this is confusing. There's a lot of information. You get the list. And so the list is something where basically there's a subset, turn that up there. There's a subset of set cards that you can get for each set, because this changes with each set. So it's not a specific set that's the same with every set. They change it every set. And so basically, for every, I think it's roughly every 4 packs, you get a list card. And that list card can be any rarity. It can be common, uncommon, rare, or mythic. And you get that from that list of the list. And so yeah, it's very confusing, but basically there's a lot of generally relatively good and value cards in there. They're kind of like a reprint, but the reality is that they're so rare, because it's like a 500 or 600 card list. You're only going to get like, what is it? Again, there's only 4, so you're only getting like 8 cards 8 list cards per set booster box. So it's not something that's like super dependable. Like you can't basically say, oh, I really hope I'm going to get one of these, and you buy a couple of boxes and get that. You'd have to be really lucky to get any specific card off of that like 600 list card. But anyway, so you get the list cards in here.
And if everybody remembers, like, I see it every now and then on the Reddit that people are like, oh, why did I get this card in this pack? Like, it has nothing to do with this set. That's
You'd
why.
think that the list would be relevant to the card or the set that it comes out of. And while apparently they do kind of think of that, the reality is that sometimes it's not relevant at all. It's just a random card. And a lot of times there's really junk commons and uncommons. It's like, why would you do that? And the reality is it's just, you know, filler stuff. But there are valuable cards in the list. So a lot of people are really liking set boosters. The theory right now is that Wizards is really pushing set boosters because obviously I mean, you can see the size here. It's smaller, so it's cheaper to produce, cheaper to ship, and they're selling it for a little bit more expensive. So they're making more money and giving you less product, so less expensive. So overall, that's why they've been pushing that more. And so the reality is that draft boosters are now just less common. And it does not feel great. Like, you don't want to get a draft booster and spend, you know, like $5 on it and get like a 30-cent rare or something. It just sucks. Whereas with the set booster, there's a good chance you're going to be getting at least 2 rares, and if you get, you know, a rare in the list slot, then you're getting 3 rares possibly, and that just feels so much better. And again, you're only spending maybe $6 on that one set booster. So you have a better chance there's higher upside in a set booster than there is in a draft booster. Now the next booster is a really weird one, and this is actually hard to find. These are the theme boosters. I'm going to throw that up there. I know it's hard to see because of all those logos. But yeah, so this is a theme booster. Theme boosters are weird. You can actually see, yeah, I was going to say, you can see the colors there on the side.
Blue, black, red, green.
Yeah, and you can also see in the back there's a description of what each theme is. So I'll hold that there for a sec. If you want to read it, pause. But basically, theme boosters are supposed to be based off of the themes that are found in that set. So here it has werewolves, which is the main theme here in Midnight Hunt. I believe that obviously the theme boosters, for example, for VOW would have had lots of vampires in them. And then here they actually give you, they have different things. Armies and defense, knowledge and manipulation, death and sacrifice for black, red, fire and aggression, green, nature and strength, which are very generic.
It's basically to give you like a core theme to build a deck around.
Yeah, I mean, we have never opened them before, and they're not very popular. They are relatively more expensive. I believe they're like $8 or something. They come with, I believe it's like 25 cards in them. I don't see a description here. See, this is confusing. This is why we're doing this. Come on, 12 packs which have 27 cards in them. It's a good thing I can read in French because it's in French. I don't know why. Yeah, so they have 37 cards in them, which is a really weird number. But I believe they only have 1 rare in each one. So it's like just a bunch of commons and uncommons and a bunch of a bunch of commons and uncommons and the 1 rare. And so like you're paying a premium for something that's supposed to be kind of theme oriented, but
I would say more synergistic.
That's the word, yeah. They're supposed to be synergistic is the idea apparently with these packs. Like, unless you're using them to draft, which I guess would be kind of cool, but I haven't heard of anybody actually doing that. I just don't see the value, and I think the whole market is really confused about this product. And you just don't see them. Like, nobody orders them, nobody has them. Maybe your local game store might have them, but it's just not common to find. But anyway, we have one, and so we're showing that off here. And then lastly, the new kid on the block that everyone really is either loves or hates, or loves to hate, are the collector boosters. Let me get that in there. Yeah, so collector boosters. These are the big daddy on the block here now. Collector boosters, I remember the first time I saw them, actually. I was traveling, and when I travel, I try to visit a local game store, and my genesis and my time in Magic has been flowing where I jump in, I play a bit, then I stop because life happens, and then I start going again, because it's kind of been, it's that thing. Magic is always there, and it's always kind of something to run back to, and you kind of always know how to play, so it's been fun. And so yeah, so I recently, maybe it was 2 years ago, it was
We do not speak his name.
Pre the craziness of the world, I jumped into a shop and I saw a collector booster, and I asked him, like, doesn't make any sense. What is that? And it was like $20, $25 for the pack. I'm like, I don't remember packs being that expensive. And it's like, oh, they have lots of foils in them or something, and that was kind of the explanation that he gave me. And so the reality is, this is a collector booster box.
I would say this is a product for whales.
Well, I mean, that's what most people would say overall, but the reality is, there is a lot more value, obviously, in one of these than there is in one of these. The question is, these are generally about 200, especially right now because these have tanked. So these are actually in the 150-ish range, $170 range right now in March of 2022. But yeah, so these are generally around $200. They sometimes, if they're bad, they go 150-ish to 200. If they're good, like the Kamigawa right now, Neon Dynasty, those are around 240, 250-ish. But generally, the question is, can you buy 2 draft booster boxes or 2 set booster boxes and make the same amount of money in value card-wise as a collector booster box? It's debatable. I mean, it's all the coin toss in everything in reality, but
It's gambling.
yeah. But the reality is each of these packs, and now I can't specifically say what each pack guaranteed has because the issue is that they've changed it every time. So the first collector booster box came out with Throne of Eldraine. If I remember correctly, it was Throne, Theros, and Ikoria were the 3 first ones, I believe. And so those were actually just before I jumped back in. I kind of jumped back in after Ikoria, pre-Zendikar. But anyway, so the point is that each one has been changing over the generation as Wizards has evolved these collector booster boxes. Actually, I have the very first collector booster box ever. Forgot I had that. We're gonna be right back. All right, back. So that is the very first collector booster box ever released. There we go. It's actually in Japanese because it wasn't, I don't believe that they released it in English. They always release special things for the Japanese market. This, I don't even remember what set this is called. I don't see if it's in English anywhere.
Whoa, you're freaking out the camera. Put stuff away.
Oh, now you have to Google this, Matt. This has to be, no, that's before that. Tick tock, tick tock. No, it's before that. No, I think it's Ravnica, but it's there's 3 different Ravnicas. I think it's Ravnica Allegiance. No, I'm pretty sure it's Ravnica Allegiance. Google the pictures. Ravnica Allegiance. Yeah, I'm 99.9% sure that's what this is. There you go. Yeah, so Ravnica Allegiance. I told you. All right. There we go. All right, we settled that. It's Ravnica Allegiance. So Ravnica Allegiance was actually the very first booster box, collector booster box. And the issue is it was not available in English because they only had the blisters available in English because it was kind of the pre-thing. And the blisters are ridiculously expensive because I believe they were only available in Canada.
It's called a dedication collector booster.
Yeah, well, anyway, so the very first collector booster box, it was only in Japanese as a box. And it was terrible. And so the reason I was mentioning that is the variety of the way that the packs are designed. So apparently these were really, really bad. Like they only had 2 foils in the back of the pack or something. They only had 1 or 2 rares and they were so expensive. And because of how rare they are, they're still very expensive. But the opportunity or the possibility of making any money back of cracking one of these is nil or practically non-existent. Explaining this was the fact that the contents of the collector booster packs are very different based off of which set they came out of. The general consensus right now has basically been you get 4 or 5 general, like, normal foil commons. You get 1 special land. You're going to get maybe 4 or 5 showcase commons and uncommons. Some of them foil, some non-foil. Usually you get 4 or 5 rares per pack. Some of them being normal, some of them, they've almost always been normal foils. There are no normal non-foil. And then the rest of them will be either extended art or showcase cards. And many times there are cards in here, or all the times rather, there are cards in here that are only available in these collector booster packs. Yeah, and then the other issue is now they've been making Commander pre-constructed decks, Commander precons for every set. And each of those precons comes with like 10 to 15 unique cards that are only available in that precon and in collector booster boxes. So that's the only way to actually get them outside of getting the precon. I think that is mostly it of what's in all of these boxes. So generally the pricing, I don't remember what the theme booster box itself cost us. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so there's 12. Yeah, that would have been about $120, $130, I think. So yeah, definitely not The value is just not there compared to draft boosters, set boosters. Like if you were to choose, the reality is if you're going for value, set boosters is your best bang for buck in the $100 range. And then if you want to go all out and really hope to get something that's crazy expensive, you're going to have to go with the collector booster box. The reality is if you're going for about $100 price tag, go for the set boosters. If you're going for, I mean, if you want to draft, then obviously draft boosters is your place to go. And if you want to find super unique cards, collector boosters is your place to go. And the reality is the collector boosters is where you're going to be able to get that really like overall, especially like if you look at our videos, it's hard to actually get an incredible box, but when you do, it is an incredible box. But again, we like variety in like the maximum amount of that. So again, just being able to get those unique, super unique cards out of these boxes makes the video cool. And so that's what we go for here.
Let us know what your favorite booster pack is.
Yeah. Was this clarifying for you? Did you have this question? Because we definitely had this question. I know he kept banging on about why, what the hell is a set booster? I mean, that's super new. Again, it's only been around for a year and a half. I hope this was clarifying for you. Let us know what you think. Like and subscribe. See you in the next video.